Anna's phone buzzed loudly on her nightstand. Still half asleep, she blinked at the bright screen. A message. No name, no number. Just 6 simple words. Today will change everything for you. She sat up, heart thumping. Was this a prank? A wrong number? Her mind spun with questions. But there was something about it. Something exciting. Sunlight poured through her curtains, warm and golden, as the city outside slowly woke up. The scent of fresh coffee from the bakery downstairs drifted in through the window. Anna stretched, rubbed her eyes, and smiled. "All right, mystery message," she said softly. "Let's see what you've got." She grabbed her shopping list. Milk, eggs, bread, bananas. Just a regular Saturday morning. Or so she thought. Tossing on her jacket, she stepped out into the fresh morning air, her heart beating just a little faster than usual. The message still echoed in her mind. Today will change everything. But how? And why now? She didn't know it yet. But the answer was waiting, between the oranges. The market was alive with color and chatter. Vendors shouted prices, children laughed, and the scent of fresh fruit filled the air. Anna weaved through the crowd, eyes scanning for ripe bananas. Her list was almost done, just a few more things before heading home. And then, bam, she turned a corner and crashed into someone. "Whoa!" she gasped as her bag slipped from her arm. Oranges bounced everywhere, rolling across the pavement like tiny, mischievous suns. "Oh no, sorry. That was totally my fault," said a man, kneeling quickly beside her. He started collecting the runaway fruit, his laugh light and easy. Anna dropped to her knees too, cheeks warm with embarrassment. Their hands reached for the same orange. Their fingers touched. She looked up. He looked back, and for a second, just 1 second, the world paused. The noise faded, the crowd blurred, and all she could see were his eyes. Familiar smile. But from where? "I really am." "Sorry," he said again, standing up and handing her an orange. His voice was calm, warm, and just like that, something fluttered in her chest. A strange, sudden feeling. Like a page from her past had just turned itself open. She looked at him again. "Have we met before?" she asked. He smiled, a smile that somehow made her forget what she was even buying. He chuckled softly. "I don't think so," he said. "But I'm Liam." Liam. The name hit her like a quiet wave. Her breath caught for a second. That name, she knew it. Not just from a passing moment, but from somewhere deep in her memory. Anna tilted her head, searching his face. The eyes, the voice, even the way he smiled. It was all familiar. Could it really be? She felt her heartbeat rise. Her lips parted, but she didn't know what to say. "I used to live near here," Liam said, unaware of the storm quietly building in her chest. Long time ago, though. A flash of memory lit up her mind. A teenage boy on a school bench, sharing snacks with her under the trees. His laugh, his terrible drawings, his promise to never forget her name. Liam. It was him. Anna blinked, still unsure. People change. Faces change. But something told her. This wasn't just coincidence. This was fate. This was him. "You really don't remember me?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Liam looked at her again, longer this time. His smile softened. "Should I?" That one question sparked everything. Liam picked up her last orange, handed it to her, and said, "Let me make it up to you. Can I buy you a coffee?" Anna hesitated. Her eyes narrowed playfully. "Is that your way of replacing my crushed bananas?" He laughed. "Exactly that. Something about his tone, his ease. It felt too natural to be new. And before she could overthink it, she nodded. Okay, just one coffee. They walked together, just a few blocks, the cool breeze brushing past them. As they reached the cafe, Anna stopped at the door. Her breath caught, the wooden sign, the small hanging plants, the red bricks. She knew this place. But when she stepped inside, her heart dropped. It wasn't just any cafe. It looked exactly like their old school library. The warm yellow lights, the tall bookshelf by the window, even the painting of the oak tree. Everything felt like it had been pulled straight from her memories. She turned slowly to look at Liam, confused, almost frightened. Is this... He smiled gently. Yeah, I had it designed that way. Her eyes widened. Why? But deep down, she already knew the answer. And suddenly, the mystery message that morning didn't feel like a prank anymore. It felt like a beginning. Anna stood still in the middle of the cafe, eyes slowly scanning every detail. The bookshelf was filled with old classics they used to sneak during lunch. The oak tree painting? It was the exact same one that hung behind the librarian's desk back in school. Even the scent, warm vanilla and old paper, felt like home. She turned toward Liam, voice shaking slightly. You did all this? He nodded, a little shy now. I opened this place 2 years ago. When I moved back to the city, I just couldn't forget it. Couldn't forget you. Her heart tightened. A part of her wanted to run. The other part, the louder part, was frozen in awe. How did you even find me? He reached into his coat and pulled out a dusty, worn school yearbook. I kept this all these years. I found your name, searched social media, and, well, I've been hoping to bump into you for months. Anna blinked, overwhelmed. So, this morning's message? Liam smiled. That was me. Everything clicked. The message, the cafe, even the oranges. It wasn't an accident. It was a plan, a hope, a long-lost connection finally finding its way back. The world felt strangely quiet for a moment. Then a soft jazz tune played from the corner speaker, wrapping the silence in something gentle. Something warm. And as Anna sat down at the table across from Liam, her voice barely a whisper, she said, "You really remembered me." He smiled, eyes shining. How could I forget? The coffee arrived. 2 steaming cups, a plate of soft pastries, and a silence that was somehow comfortable. Anna stared at her cup, fingers tracing the rim. Her mind buzzed with memories, with questions, with something that felt almost like destiny. Then, buzz. Her phone lit up on the table, a reminder, one she'd completely forgotten. Flight to Paris, tonight, 8:45 p.m. Her stomach dropped. She froze, the screen burning into her eyes. Of course, she was leaving, tonight. A new job, a new life, a dream she had chased for years. Everything was packed, everything was ready. But now her heart was full of questions. Why today? Why now? After all these years? Liam noticed her change in expression. Everything okay? She hesitated. I have a flight tonight. I'm moving to Paris. The smile on his face faded, just slightly. He looked down, stirred his coffee. Of course you are, he said softly. They sat in silence. Not awkward, just heavy. 2 people on opposite ends of time, finally meeting. Only to be pulled apart again. I wasn't supposed to see you today, she whispered. but I'm so glad I did." Liam smiled again, but this time it was a little sad. "Then let's not waste the hours we've got." And just like that, the day took on a new meaning. It wasn't just about memories anymore. It was about now. As the rain started to fall outside, the cafe's cozy warmth became a bubble where time seemed to slow down. Anna and Liam didn't talk much. They didn't need to. There was a quiet understanding between them now, a recognition of how rare this was. They'd both been busy, caught up in their own lives. But today was different. Liam leaned in slightly, pulling something out of his jacket pocket. "I have something for you," he said, his voice almost shy now. Anna raised an eyebrow, intrigued. He handed her a small folded letter, tucked inside a delicate envelope. She opened it, her hands trembling just a little. The words inside were simple, yet powerful. "I've never forgotten the first time we met. I hope this isn't goodbye, but see you later." Her eyes flickered back to him. He was watching her closely, his own gaze filled with something she couldn't quite name. Hope? Longing? "I didn't want to just let you go without saying it," he added softly. Anna smiled, but it wasn't a smile of joy. It was one of realization. How many times had life brought them back to this moment? How many chances had they missed before? Now, here they were, on the edge of goodbye, yet also holding on to something much deeper. The letter was everything she needed to hear, everything she'd wanted to say. And somehow, in that moment, it felt like all the years of waiting, of wondering, had led them here, to this quiet, perfect afternoon. "I'll never forget you either," Anna whispered, folding the letter carefully. She held it close to her chest, as if keeping it there would hold the magic in place. The clock on the wall ticked louder now, as though reminding them of the time slipping away. Anna glanced at her phone again, her heart sinking as she saw the departure time. 7 p.m. She had less than an hour. Less than an hour to say goodbye. She stood up slowly, smoothing out the edges of her coat, as if it might help delay what was coming. Liam stood too, his face unreadable for a moment. "You should go," he said, almost quietly, "before it's too late." Anna nodded, feeling the weight of the moment in her chest. This wasn't just a goodbye. It was a goodbye to everything she had known, to all the plans she had made, to a life that had never included this. But in her heart, she knew. Sometimes, life doesn't follow the plan. It makes its own rules, forces you to face decisions you never expected. "I don't want to leave," Anna said, the words slipping out before she could stop them. She looked at him, her eyes full of something more than sadness, something like regret. "But I have to." Liam stepped closer, his voice soft. "Maybe you'll come back." Anna's breath caught in her throat. Maybe. But the word felt like a promise and a question all at once. For a moment, neither of them moved. The weight of everything unsaid hung between them like a cloud. And just as Anna opened her mouth to speak, Liam did something unexpected. He pulled her into a hug. It wasn't long. Just long enough to remind her that some goodbyes don't need words. Some goodbyes just need a moment. And in that moment, Anna knew this wasn't the end. It couldn't be. Anna pulled away from the hug, wiping a stray tear from her cheek. She wasn't ready to say goodbye. Not yet. Not when everything felt like it was just beginning. And Liam seemed to understand. Without another word, he grabbed her hand, tugging her gently toward the door. "Come on, let's make the most of it." The rain had softened to a light drizzle, and the city streets gleamed under the streetlights. There was no rush. They walked side by side, laughing about the silliest things, Old memories, funny mishaps, even a few jokes they'd shared as teenagers. It felt like they were back in time, back when everything was simple, when the world was just the two of them. They stopped by a street food cart. Liam handed Anna a small bowl of fresh falafel. She took a bite, grinning. "I forgot how good these were." "Then it's a good thing we're eating them now," Liam said, his eyes sparkling with that same mischievous glint she remembered. "This moment, this memory, we get to keep it forever." They didn't talk much after that, just walking the streets, together like nothing else mattered. Nothing else existed except this moment. For the first time all day, Anna felt like she wasn't running toward something or away from something. She was just living. And somehow, even with the departure looming, everything felt right. They weren't saying goodbye. They were simply savoring the last few steps before their paths diverged. The airport was bustling with people, flights, announcements, and the distant sound of luggage wheels against the polished floor. But Anna felt like she was in a world all her own. The noise faded as she walked toward the gate, her hand still wrapped around the small orange keychain Liam had given her earlier. It was silly, simple, but somehow it meant more than anything. A token of their moment. A promise, maybe. Or simply a way to hold on to something real in the middle of a world that was always changing. Liam stood just a few steps behind her, watching. "You've got everything you need?" he asked, his voice soft but clear. Anna turned to him, her heart aching with the thought of leaving. "I think so, but I'm taking this with me," she said, holding up the keychain. "This moment, you, all of it." He smiled, that same quiet, knowing smile. "Promise me something," he said. "When you get to Paris, don't forget how beautiful today was. Don't forget me." Her heart tightened, but she nodded, unable to trust herself to speak. The words were there, but they felt too big, too important to say out loud. "I won't forget," she whispered finally. With that, she turned toward the gate, but just before stepping through the doorway, she paused. Just a second, a heartbeat, a breath. She glanced back over her shoulder. Liam was still there, standing, watching her with a look that said everything she needed to know. The promise hung in the air between them. And for a brief moment, it felt like this wasn't goodbye. Not really. It was simply the beginning of something new. Something that would always be theirs, no matter the distance. B. What we learned today. English vocabulary, grammar and context, emotional listening practice, sentence structure, natural pronunciation, storytelling-based comprehension, fluency building, and real-world language use, all through one immersive English story experience.